Little summertime music for you. That'll be the heart of the football season. The Okanagan Sun gets set to open the 2010 or the 2010 football season on the road in Kamloops, July the 24th. Think about it. It's not far away. Talking with President Bill Long of the Okanagan Sun Football Organization, they've been notified by the province of BC that the $30,000 that they've received over the last couple of years in gaming grants will not be available to them, and they're going to have to adjust their budgets accordingly. He says that it's something that just causes them to bear down and work a little harder at it. Bill Long, you earlier also said that the Raiders over on the island lifted the bar. I can remember listening to Ryan Waters talk about the new stadium, the new box that he was calling the games from over there on the island. Fairly significant facility that was put in place over there.
Yeah, they built a nice press box facility on the far side of the stadium, on the field, that houses the timekeepers, the statisticians. It basically has two floors. The top floor has their broadcast crew gets the top floor. Ryan and I had just the second floor, which was fine. It was way better than the storage shed that we were using before.
All right, no kidding. Does all of this indicate that the league continues to strengthen? It makes commitment. I mean, I've heard so many teams talk about coming into the Sun Bowl here, or Apple Bowl. We call it Sun Bowl when the Okanagan Sun are playing there. Still, the Apple Bowl is one of the preeminent places to play in the league.
The Apple Bowl is a great facility. It's probably one of the finest natural grass surfaces in Western Canada. And I could remember playing on that field when it first opened back in 1980. I played a rugby game on that, and it was one of the very first games ever there. And the field has always been fantastic. The actual physical facility, the stadium, etc., and the change rooms, it's starting to show the fact that it's 30 years old. And I know the city has plans pending a lot of other things that facility will be upgraded. But throughout the league, the South Surrey is playing in a really nice stadium that once they've got room to improve and make a great facility there. Victoria moved into a fantastic stadium out in Langford, which is just west of Victoria, and it's a turf field, but it's a great facility. It's really nice out there. And Nanaimo's working on their facility and improving it, and because they have a good team now, and there's nothing like winning some championships to light a fire under the powers that be to improve their facilities.
So does this go hand in glove, sort of, with the continuing growth in the CFL? I mean, the Canadian Football League has always occupied a huge spot in my heart, and seemingly with some very good Grey Cups over the last couple of years. Even though the division of the teams doesn't always seem to make sense, there have been some pretty cool football games. Canadians falling in love with the CFL all over again?
Well, I think Canadians have always enjoyed the CFL and our brand of football. And if you go down through looking at the popularity of university football and the expansion of junior football across Canada. Now, junior football is over 100 years old, and there's now there's 19 teams in the Canadian Junior Football League. The big growth has been in Ontario, where there's now 7 teams in that league. We just added Brampton this year. So the Ontario Football Conference was only 4 teams 3 years ago, and they've added 3 teams in the past 3 years. So it's grown tremendously, and that just makes it tougher to get the best players, because now they have far more options to play at. And the advantage we have is we have a great university here. We have a scholarship program that we started last year, which is going to be very successful, but which we have a commitment to funding an increasingly higher level each year as we recruit more and more players who are going to be interested in going to school. And so we are not going to back down from that commitment, and that's part of the budgetary pressures we have, is we can't take anything away from what we're going to set aside as from scholarships. And it's only by offering those scholarships to players that we're going to be able to compete in the future.
God, I thought all you had to do was offer the lake, the sunshine, and the Okanagan lifestyle.
You used to be able to. I mean, that's how it used to be. Your biggest recruiter, Phil, is winning. When you win, it's easy to recruit. When you don't win, now you're up against everything else. And players want to go where they're going to play, and they're going to go where they're going to have an opportunity to be on a successful team. You can't just bring them here on the May long weekend and take them down to the beach and say, oh, why don't you come back here in the summertime? It's even better. And then that's kind of the way we did recruit. But it's a much different game out there now, and we're in a cat fight, not just for the players from Alberta and from all this massive number of high schools, but even local players in Kelowna. We have other teams coming into our backyard trying to recruit our players. So we have to fight for everybody.
I was going to say, it sounds like the days when that letter arrived in the mail with the Okanagan Sun letterhead on it, that the young player's hand would start to shake. Those days are behind you.
Oh, I think so. I think that they, the things change for a reason, and I don't see this as a bad maneuver. I think it.
What it does, I guess, really is to go full circle here is what it really does is guarantee a quality of football experience for the fan, who ultimately, to a great degree, is paying the bill. And so you can guarantee that weekend after weekend that the games that appear here in the Apple Bowl or that happen in the Apple Bowl are as good as it gets and better on a given day.
Well, I think you hit right on the nail on the head, as they say, that we became a victim of our own success. We created teams that were so good and so dominant through the 90s that it was really a two-team league. It was us and whoever. It was us and Surrey or us and Abbotsford, and then Victoria kind of raised up for a while. But we'd knock them off, and the other teams were just exhibition games. It was really, the fans would come out, and we probably lost some fans and lost some support because we were, they were coming out and seeing us blow people out by 50 points. Well, it's not like that anymore, folks. The last couple of years have been tough, and we love it. We absolutely love it, and people come to the stadium not knowing whether, it's not a guaranteed win, and that's just part of the entertainment. The entertainment of coming out to a football game is having the home team win, but it being close, and that's what people want. They want to come out and have a great experience and see some great football, and there's been some great football there in the last couple of years.
Coach Pete McCall returns?
Absolutely.
I've had a couple of times over the course of last summer to be in social situations where I ran into young players who are part of the Okanagan Sun football organization. And I'm always curious, so I'm always saying to them, so talk to me about Coach McCall. And there just hasn't been a young man who hasn't said, God, tough, but God, I love playing for the guy.
Well, he's fair. And he's honest, and he is committed. And as a player, when a coach is driving you hard, but if you understand the reasons why he's driving you hard, and you believe that what he is saying is true and correct, then you'll do anything for him. And Pete was coached that way. He had some great coaches when he was down in Dickinson, and he's just brought that mentality with him. And the players, as they say, they've drank the Kool-Aid. they're into it, and all you have to do is go out and see how many players are out there on a Sunday afternoon at the CNC working really, really hard. I mean, I went out there this past Sunday and managed to throw the football in some drills for him, and man, I was looking over at the coach going, "Are we done yet?" I was getting tired of running the drills, but he works them hard, and that will pay off. It makes for a great sense of team spirit and camaraderie when that players are working hard and that their coach is working hard too.
Bill Long, President, Okanagan Sun Football Organization. Thanks for your time here this morning. Tough budget news as you lose $30,000 out of your budget, but definitely a pleasure to meet you here this morning.